We're following some breaking news this morning. At least 7 people shot during a drive-by on the city's south side in Bronzeville.
Man, Chicago is bleeding out. Over Labor Day weekend, 54 people were shot, 7 killed, in at least 32 different shootings across the city. That is not a war zone overseas. That's Chicago. And you think that that kind of carnage, every politician in the city would be begging for help. But no. Because in Chicago, politics come before your safety. And I'm going to show you exactly how.
Here's what we know. Chicago police say it happened near 35th and South State Street around 11:10 last night. Officers responding to a call about multiple people being shot. Investigators believe a car drove by the area when someone from inside opened fire into a crowd. 5 men, 2 women were all struck. All were taken to a hospital, are in good condition. No one is in custody.
7 people standing around and somebody rolls up spraying bullets into a crowd. And this isn't rare. It's every damn weekend. 54 people shot, 7 dead. Now, Trump says, let's send in the National Guard to help. And Governor Pritzker responds with National Guard troops or any kind of troops on the streets of an American city don't belong unless there is an insurrection, unless there is truly an emergency. And there is not an emergency. Are you kidding me? 54 people shot in a weekend and you're saying that's not an emergency? What do you need? Zombies crawling out of the sewers before you call it a crisis?
No federal troops in the city of Chicago. No militarized force in the city of Chicago. We're going to defend our democracy in the city of Chicago. We're going to protect the humanity of every single person in the city of Chicago.
And here's the kicker. It's not just me saying this. It's not just Trump saying this. Your own citizens, people living in these neighborhoods are begging for help. Don't take my word for it. Listen to this young woman who lives in Chicago who was interviewed by CNN.
My first reaction was that this is a good thing. I think that the governor as well as the mayor should be on board with it just so we can get a bit more of security in Chicago the way that we need.
The crime has dropped since 2024. Do you feel like the city feels safer?
No, not at all. No, especially with the police being defunded.
There it is, straight from one of your own citizens. She's saying she doesn't feel safe. She wants the National Guard there. And you're still sitting up in your office saying, nah, it's not an emergency. That's not leadership. That's you ignoring the people you claim to represent. And here's where the contradiction smacks you in the face. This is the same governor who will pass gun control laws telling you that you don't need a gun, that you should just depend on the government and the police to protect you. But when the shootings keep piling up, what's the government doing? What are the police doing? Clearly not enough. And let me drop a reality check. The vast majority of so-called gun violence in this country isn't spread out evenly everywhere like they want you to believe. It's not every city, every town, every neighborhood. No, it's concentrated. Research shows that just a tiny fraction of places, about 1.5% of the US population, are responsible for over a quarter of all gun homicides in the country. Out of thousands of counties across America, just a handful are driving the majority of our gun violence numbers. That's like blaming the whole country for being overweight because 2% of the people are eating 10 Big Macs a day. It skews the whole picture. And guess what? Chicago is one of those places, which means if you actually did something serious in Chicago, you'd make a noticeable dent in the national gun violence numbers overnight. But instead of tackling the very hot spots where the majority of this violence happens, these politicians want to act like it's everywhere, like it's universal, so they can justify nationwide gun control. They'll tell you if these gun control laws will save just one life, it's worth it. But if you enforce the laws you already have in the exact places that are driving the numbers, you don't just save one life, you save a lot of lives. But they don't want that, because enforcing existing laws doesn't give them more control. Passing new gun laws does. That's why they'd rather use the violence as an excuse for gun control instead of actually reducing the violence where it's happening, because they know the gun control laws are really designed to restrict law-abiding gun owners from owning guns, not the actual criminals. So let me get this straight. You won't take federal help even though you know exactly where the problem is, exactly who's causing it. You won't use a police force you already have effectively. And on top of that, you make it harder for law-abiding people to defend themselves in the very neighborhoods where the violence is the worst. That's not leadership. That's hypocrisy. That's you treating the safety of your citizens like a political football so you can hold on to control. And it proves my point. These politicians care more about looking strong than making you safe. And until you wake up to that fact, the body counts just gonna keep rising. So with that being said, you have it on full display here. You can't trust the government to keep you safe because when it comes down to it, they're just gonna play politics with your safety. And that's why I came up with the I'm the militia design you see me wearing here on this hat. They're not gonna be there. You are literally your own first responder. You can only depend on yourself to keep you safe. You can't depend on the government. They're playing political football with your shit. So what does that say? That says you need to be in a position to be your own militia, to be able to protect yourself, to protect your family, protect your loved ones. That's what this design is about. So I have it in hats, shirts, hoodies, and drinkware so that you can remind yourself and everybody else that when it said the militia, it was talking about the people. That's who it was talking about. So I'm gonna put a link in the description section of the video so you can check out the I'm the Militia merch and grab some of it today.
One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you. And we're all fighting this culture war together. Now you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.